93 Major League games, finishing 703 of them, and starting 0. No starts. He was the 12th overall selection in the 1993 Major League Baseball draft by the Houston Astros out of Ferrum College in his native Virginia. He was already in the big leagues for one game in 1995. He pitched in 16 Major League seasons for Houston, Philadelphia, the New York Mets, Boston, and Atlanta, with his teams reaching the postseason in 7 of those years. He appeared in one game with the Reading Phillies on a Major League rehab assignment in 2004, throwing a scoreless inning with 2 strikeouts in Bowie, Maryland. He was my pregame guest that night on the radio. He was gracious enough to be the interview, and I told him before the game, not a lot of big leaguers would do that, so I really appreciate it. He's a good dude, and you're going to love his presentation, I hope. No, we're not? We're not? He already told me it's going to be 10 times better than Lee's presentation.
Here comes another blown save.
A 7-time All-Star, he finished his career 47-40 with 422 saves. 422 saves, which is 6th all-time in Major League history. That's a great number. We will find out Tuesday if he will be inducted, and I think he will be, and he better be, inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame this summer in Cooperstown, New York. He's got a lot of support, and I think we all can say with that number of saves, he deserves a plaque, no doubt about it. A couple more numbers. He struck out an astonishing 1,196 hitters. That's 11.9 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. Opponents hit a measly 187 against him. In his last season, his last year, 2010, he was 38 years of age, 37 saves, a 1.43 ERA for the Braves, and 104 strikeouts in 69 in the 3rd innings. And I learned about his family today. This is amazing too. His son, Will, is the number 15 prospect in the Astros organization. He reached AAA last year. His son, Jeremy, plays baseball at Towson University. His daughter, Olivia, plays basketball at Radford University. And his son, Kason, is a sophomore in high school playing baseball in Virginia. So, pretty good next generation as well. Please welcome to the Reading Hot Stovers, the 1999 National League Rolaids Relief Man of the Year and future Hall of Famer, Billy Wagner.
Think this through. I mean, after hearing Lee, I was ready to play. I was game on, here we go, what do we do, what do we sign up, what do I got to happen? That is the most entertaining and motivating and inspiring thing I've been around in a long time. If you don't take that home, you're not and I met when I was a free, he don't remember this. In 1992, I'll take that back, in 1990 in Roanoke, Virginia, he was getting inducted to the Hall of Fame. I was a freshman. And so I'm like a lot of you guys, I wish they got to get off stage. I don't know what's going on. But unlike that, I knew who he was more than anybody because I love baseball. And when I talk about love baseball, I know what stats mean. I know what winning means. And he was a winner. And when you know what we are family in 79, that means a lot. So, big fan, tremendous fan. I am an emotional speaker, so I am going to tear up somewhere in this. If I start grabbing this mic, I'm probably going to walk off this stage somewhere. But I played 16 years in Major League Baseball, and it was all for one reason, to be a high school baseball coach. Inspiring and teaching kids how to play the game with detail and instruction is important. I had great coaches. My high school coach was great, my college coach was great. But what I learned as I went through big leagues, the life, getting into being a father, and seeing how parents, how other coaches were treating kids, and talking about how easy the game was. I don't know how easy the game was because for all the stats that I put up, not one day did I walk out and go, man, that was easy. This game is so hard. And when we put our kids in situations to make them think that it's that easy, that they should be so much better, we put them at a disadvantage. And so for me, I've spent my last 12 years, 11 or 12 years. I'm getting old and I can't remember anything, so it's between 11 and 12 years, I'm pretty sure of that. I started coaching, and it's been the greatest thing I've ever done because watching somebody else's success is more beneficial than my success. And when you talk about putting people in successful situations, that creates more joy than going out and getting a save. Even though at that point it gave me the opportunity to stand here and to push the game of baseball. But what I've learned over that is that the game is great. The game is really great. We just got to take a step back and let it be great. Numbers are numbers, but the biggest thing that we play for in a game, and the reason we keep score, is to win. It's not how hard I hit the ball. It's not how hard I throw the ball. It's who I get out. How hard do I play the game? How hard do I prepare? I don't have to be the best player in that guy's eye. I got to be the best player I can be in my eyes, as hard as I can work. Because at 5'5", 135 pounds coming out of Southwest Virginia, I was not looked at to be a possible Hall of Famer. I went to college to play football. I love football. Football didn't love me, but I love football. A couple broken fingers and knees and concussions, and it didn't love me anymore. But those are things that when you're giving the opportunity, there's always that door being open for you. My college football coach walked me to he came and watched me pitch at Ferrum, and I mean, my number said I was good, but I was wild as could be. I couldn't throw it through that door. I mean, I was everywhere. I terrorized you when I was pitching. Struck out 19 guys a game on average. How I did that, I don't know. I think they were scared. But he saw me pitch. He put his arm around me, walked me to the clubhouse and said, "You'll never play football again." That's an angel. Because I'd have probably got killed. I probably would have got killed. I played with Chris Warren. Does anybody know who Chris Warren is? Yeah. He was running back for Seattle. Yeah, I played with that dude. Now look at this. Look at that. I was a defensive back trying to hit that. It's amazing how many times I tripped and fell and couldn't get to him. But I think the opportunities, you young men and women, which congratulations to you winners, tremendous things that you guys have done. You need to take back and enjoy this moment because it's not just a moment, it's leading to bigger and better things. And you need to take that and build on it by being motivated by how you go about your business. I tell you, when I came in here, I didn't know much about the Hot Stove, but when I met Lou and his staff, man, that was inspiring. And that's what we're called to do, is inspire the game. And when you talk, they obviously have nothing to gain but being motivators and inspiring young men and women, and I love it. I'm going to tell 2 stories, then I'm going to open it up for questions. And Lou said I couldn't talk long. He told me I could. He said he's going to pull on my coat, and that's the time. So, hold on. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. He's got to take his medicine. I don't want to be interrupted while I'm talking about stories and stuff. They told me about trying to get up here. His alarm goes off, and he's got to get his wife. It's a long story. So I'm a high school coach, and this young lady walks into my. She calls me and goes, "Coach, I want to come play for you." And I'm like, "Well, come see me." Now, I coached against her brother. She's a beautiful young lady. She's athletic as can be. Her mom or dad come in and they sit down and she goes, "I want to be the first female to play pro baseball." She goes, "I want to wear 41. I think that's what they say the first female ever plays, 41 or 43, once again. So she's sitting here and she's telling me these things, and I'm like, holy cow, who am I to say no? Well, this girl is amazing. I mean, she is the toughest person I've ever coached, hands down. I mean, she puts up with boys, so that automatically puts her way up here. She comes in, she's out working the boys. She is just crushing it. She's a switch hitter. She throws 78 miles an hour. She plays first base, and guys cheap shot her every time they run down the bag, and she lays them out. She's super quiet. Now she's a junior. She's a junior this year, and we've awarded her, well, I made it a purpose to call her a captain. And she's a captain because now she has to learn how to be in charge. Not that that won't come naturally in time, that will happen, but I'm just pushing it along. You know, some poor guy is in for it, but so she is, I can say that because my wife's not here. And I can say that I won't get yelled at. But I put her in a situation that she has to be proactive. So she has to interact and she has to really dive in. And now she really has to be that athlete. Because she wants to be it, but now you got to go out there and she has to tell somebody, you're not playing hard enough. You need to pick it up because you're a captain, you're a leader. So I'll put her in a situation where it's uncomfortable. Now I'll put her in a spot, well, you know, she says it a little bit, but now I catch her not lifting. She would lift, but she would be the last person to lift. And this is a girl, now, believe me or not, this is a girl who's squatting 225. She squats 225 like most of my guys can't do 225. She does 225 and she does it the right way. So this girl has made it a purpose to be detail-oriented. She comes to work and does everything. She never misses rep. So in order for her to learn how to coexist with boys, because she wants to go to college and play pro ball, I told her, you cannot be the last person out, or you're lifting her. So I make her, she has to team up with one guy every day, a different guy every day. And usually it makes the guy have to work way harder because, you know, how's that going to look, right? So she makes our team much better because when she's doing 225 and that other kid's not, that kid's going to figure out how to do 225 real quick. So she runs her extra sprints, she's doing her lifts, all of a sudden she's in charge. Well, all that hard work, she joined the U.S. Olympic team, women's baseball. Have y'all heard of that? They won a gold medal. She's the youngest player on the team, started in right field, hit over 600. They make special bats for girls at that league. It's like a USSSA something. She's like absolutely not, they use a -3. And for you guys, -3 is what high school bats. And she swings it both sides. So this girl's well on her way. So that's what makes me happy. And I told her, you know, her dad thinks she's going to throw 90. Which if she does, I'm going to look really good. But I told her, I said, you know, that's neither here nor there. But the point is, her tenacity, her commitment is just evident that anything is possible if you put yourself out there and not be worried about the no's. The no's are exactly what you're looking for because if you're not getting told no, and I think, you're not doing it hard enough. You're not pushing the limit. So being told no is the greatest thing because for me, when somebody told me no, that's the guy when, if Lord being, I make it to the Hall of Fame, I get to thank. Because that's the guy that motivated me to be that dude when it mattered. And that's what it's going to take for some of you guys when they say you're not big enough, you're not fast enough, you can't hit it hard enough. You've got to find a way. And no just says, find another way. Okay? I did have another story, but I can't remember because once again, it's that moment. But I will open up. I know some of you might have some questions. You know, there's some people. Anybody got any questions? Yes?
Before you were called up, you never relieved the game in the minors. But when you were called up, you never started a game.
Yeah.
What was the adjustment?
It was, and I wasn't that smart to realize it. I know that sounds stupid, but I mean, when you get caught up in the big leagues, your goal is to get 3 outs. It didn't matter whether it's starting the inning or pitching the 9th inning. In college, I was throwing around 190 pitches a game. And I would start on Friday and close the next 2 games. I didn't know no difference. The purpose was to win the game. I didn't know. I went to Ferrum. I didn't go to LSU where everything was cut and dry, and I went to Farron where I had one pair of pants that was red, where on a home game, it looked like it was red because we had clay. I had, uniforms, I didn't know the difference. So when I got to big leagues and stuff like that, the only thing that I had on my mind was sickle. Sickle, go get them, beat them, win. I didn't know. People, I think Mel Stallman told me, he goes, we'd like you to throw under 12 pitches an inning. I'm thinking, is that 2 hitters? I mean, if I don't get that, do I not pitch? My goal was to win. It wasn't to fit a stat box. It didn't matter how I did it. It was to figure it out. Now, how I got better was reps. I was throwing 22 pitches an inning as a rookie, and I ended up, by the end of the time, I was throwing 15 pitches. You kind of learn some of these things, but at the time, the one thing you didn't know was, it's like facing Barry Bonds. The first time I faced Barry Bonds, I knew who Barry Bonds was. I just wasn't smart enough to care. I threw him 3 straight fastballs right down the middle, struck him out. It was just, call it dumb luck, but it's the competitive part of learning. And why I was a starter, I don't know. I would have never got to the big leagues as a starter. I wasn't very good. Me and Jerry Goff, my catcher, I would start, and they would tell me I have to throw 10% change-ups. So we'd throw 10 change-ups in the first inning. and so that was like, you get that, and that just drove the Astros crazy. They hated that every bit of it. So I'm like, do we want to win, or what are we doing here? I'm not here to, so it was, that's that Southwest Virginia thinking. So, but I didn't know the difference, to be honest with you. My job was to get outs, and, I did it the only way I knew how. Anybody else? Yes?
What's your opinion on the pitch counts with Major League players nowadays?
You know what? They spend too much money not to, and I think they train too much, and you have to protect them. You have to protect them from yourself. The days when you could go out and pitch, 3 innings as a closer and get the saves is different now as a 1-inning closer. The era I came up, he would, like I think Kim was telling me, he would throw 3 innings, but, very rarely were you going back to back to back to back, right? Where that allowed us to go back. So it changes. And so the way they train nowadays, Lord have mercy, our high school, we train like we're a small college. It's very meticulous. About how to protect them and manage their bodies, because everybody is really focused on, that one sport. When I came up, I played football and baseball, and you could do that because you didn't know what the guy in California was doing. Today, I know what everybody in the world's doing because they're posting everything, and that's terrorizing. That terrorizes the kids today to go, holy shit, this 14-year-old just threw 98. That's the worst thing that's ever invented, because now we're running against a monster we can't control. And so I play the guy having going, hey, you'll be fine, but I'm only throwing 82. You're a freshman. As a freshman, I was throwing 78. So, the training that these kids do now and the money that's being spent on them, you have to protect them. They can't protect themselves. There's going to be more injuries. Guys are throwing harder. They train harder. Specifically for their sport. So, do I like it? Do I like watching a starting pitcher? I'll be honest with you. Me and Roy Oswald were sitting in Houston and watching our pitcher for Houston pitch. He had a no-hitter going, pulled himself out of the game. Roy Oswald lost his. And because it's not about the win. It's not about the win. You only have a certain amount of time to be that special moment, to throw that no-hitter, and you're willing to throw it away. Make that manager take you out of the game. Those are just things. Do I agree with everything? No. The way the game is, it's different. But the type of players that we're seeing nowadays, everybody's just unique. Everything's specialized to a point where I don't think we can fathom how good players are. I tell my son, who's a hitter, that they should be hitting 400. I think hitters should be hitting 400 every day. They have to throw in a box. There's no corners anymore, and you got to throw in a box. And of course, I'm a pitcher, and he thinks I'm stupid. But I think, and he's like, nobody will ever hit 400. I'm like, if they don't, there's something wrong, because you can tie them up at 400. But that's how the game's changed. If you ever threw a kid going 86, 87 to a major leaguer, they'd be in the hospital. Jamie Moyer ever came back, he would win 400 games. I mean, that's just how the game's played nowadays. So you have to protect them a little bit. Anybody else? Yes.
Did you ever have arm problems?
I had Tommy John. I had Tommy John at 37. Came back in 10 months and pitched back in the big leagues. I had flexor tendon at 30 years old, 2000. But at this point, I get to throw BP every day. It does not hurt, but my back kills me, and I've got a huge bunion on my push-off foot that absolutely kills me. It's unbelievable the things as young and old, y'all think, oh, that's no big deal. Yes, it will. It's crazy. Oh, my broken right arm. I'm natural right-handed. I can't do anything left-handed. Did you see me shaking when I was drinking that drink? So I write. Nobody even picked up that I was writing, signing my name right-handed, which, that's usually a giveaway. But I can throw a little bit right-handed. But I broke my arm about 7 years old and playing football. Somebody bigger than me, and went through the whole cast and stuff. And next thing, about a couple months after that, I fell off monkey bars, broke it again, and became left-handed. I mean, I don't know how special that is, but I can tell you right now, standing up here and having a chance to go to the Hall of Fame, God is good. God is good, because I don't think I'd be here if all that stuff would not have happened. So I've been very blessed to have broken bones and stuff. But the greatest stories that I hear is that I was 19 and I just picked it up and started throwing. So sometimes I like to go with that version of the story because it sounds better. But y'all can pick and choose, but I like that better. Yes, sir.
Best team you ever played for?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I think, oh my gosh, maybe there's so many, gosh, I tell you, I think about the Astros, the teams in '98, when you had the unit rolling out there with Mike Hampton, and you're pitching in the Astrodome, you could just lob it up there and let him hit as far as you can. That was special. Magnum Biggio, Berkman, those guys in that, man, I don't know if that was pretty special. 06 offensively was probably the best team I could have been on. There's a lot. There's a lot of teams that I was on should have done better, including myself. But man, there's a lot of them. We rolled out some. I tell you right now, you can't get to the Hall of Fame or have numbers unless you have great teammates. And man, I had great teammates to make me look good. They'd score that extra run, I'd go in and get that save, that setup man who'd go out there and give up that extra run for me to get a save. Quality people. But you just had to have luck on your side. And so I had a lot of great teams. And to get to the playoffs as many times as we did and to experience that emotion, that's special. Yes?
Can I ask you a question that I hope doesn't offend you?
You will, go ahead.
You say you're an emotional speaker.
Yes.
I've cried a couple different times as a Phillies fan.
Oh God, here we go.
One of the days that I really remember crying for the first time as a Phillies fan was September 30th of 2007, when you and the New York Mets lost to the Marlins.
Oh God,
Which gave us the NL East and completed the crash of the Mets.
Awful.
What happened?
Injuries. And it's funny, in 06, we were wore out. When Wagner Sanchez got hurt, our bullpen went to overload, and we were pitching in every situation. We were wore out. And so in the 07, I went down with back spasms, which was leading to Tommy John the next year. We had Howman was hurt. Everybody just started getting hurt. We just couldn't pull the load, and so it just a little bit of everything. Couldn't get that big hit. You know, if you'd have told me in '06 that we'd have bases loaded and not be able to get a base hit 3 times to go to the World Series, and the best hitter, and Carlos Beltran should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, some of this is BS, but he, you know, that he would get struck out on a backdoor bender by Wainwright. That's hard. But you know, those things happen. You can't even explain them. I mean, couldn't get rid of back spasms. I had 12 Toradol shots in my back to get rid of a spasm and pitched one night. I mean, the things you do to get out there that people don't know, and you go out there and you suck that night, and you suck. They have no idea that you just spent 4 hours on your back getting pinned so that you could try to go out there and not suck and win. And then, you know, and it takes you toll. I mean, in 16 years, I mean, you're gonna lay some eggs and stuff. And it was rough. That was, and '08 was rough.
So I was at Shea Stadium for your 300 wins. Stadium.
Yep.
As a statistician and fan, I know what that meant to me. What if 300, 400, 422 means to you?
Longevity. I mean, you can't have numbers unless you have longevity. And you can't have longevity unless you have you're on the good teams. You just can't overlook those facts. You have to have talent, you have to be good, but you have to have Carlos Beltran jump over the wall and rob a home run. You have to have, you know, that blown save taken away, and you get a win, you get a vulture. You know, those 300s are special because they suffice the longevity of your career. I mean, 300 Independence Day, my college coach was there. So I mean, there were special moments that for all these 400, I go out. We're in Atlanta. I'd strained my groin and I had hyperextended my left ankle, and I had my ankle wrapped like a football player. Y'all hear about like Baker Mayfield, and they wrap it up like, I had my ankles wrapped that tight and that much so that it wouldn't move. And I went out there and punched out the side. I mean, sometimes it's just dumb luck. You know, a little bit of lighting, something like that, but, you know, whatever it takes. But, I mean, that's, you know, those are the things that I think about. Plus, when I got my 400 save, you know, we're all excited. My family's there. We get in our car, we're driving back through to Buckhead or wherever it is, driving, we get pulled over. I get pulled over. This guy's livid. This Democratic cop is livid. He swore up and down I'm drinking and driving. He is just livid. He gets me pulled over and he is trying to get me out of the car. I mean, here's my kids. I've got my kids in here, and he's like, "You been drinking, right?" Well, there's a light. There's 2 lights, and so you can sometimes you can overlook the light. Well, I overlooked the light. Saw the green down there, and I just kept on cruising. Well, thank God another cop pulled me in, and he just hadn't been working at the field and saw that I got my 400 save and let me go. But that was how that night was remembered. So, those are special moments, and what goes on with that. Anybody? Yes.
As a closer, in a close game, you're tied or you're up by 1, who's the batter you would never want to have to face again in that situation?
Well, if I have to face a guy that I don't want to face, I'm going to walk him, or I'm going to hit him. So, I mean, I remember, you know, a moment that stands out. I remember when Barry was going for his home run record, and we're in Houston, and, you know, they stopped the game and come out and bring you the special balls and all that nonsense. And Jimmy Williams comes out and he goes, "Wags, you know, you can walk him right here." I said, "I ain't walking him. I don't care who he is. I ain't walking him." "You sure about this?" "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I ain't walking him." So he goes back. I strike him out. You know, I come out and I'm like, "Yeah, you know, I ain't breaking that Barry Bonds. You know, no big deal." Well, a couple days later, I'm facing Eduardo Perez. And Jimmy walks out and goes, "Wax, I think we're going to walk him. We're going to walk him So he would let me face Barry, but not face Eduardo Perez. So does that make sense to you? So I mean, there's really no rhyme or reason. The one time, I tell you, I've had one manager like about lose his crap on me, literally during the game, and we were playing in LA, and I've got Juan Pierre, who's given me the most hellish at bat ever. Felt like 45 pitches. I'm out there bent knees, sweating, and you know, I've got one out, and I'm walking. I end up walking. Here comes Jeff Kent. Jeff Kent comes up. We're up by 1, and I know Jeff Kent. I know Jeff Kent. I'm like, he's not beating me. And so, how does it work? So Juan Pierre got on. The next guy, I ended up striking out, but I threw a wild pitch during that sequence. So he went to second base. So I had a base open. So Jeff Kent comes up. Now I got no more Garcia Parra on deck. And so this is really ballsy. And so I go like that, you know, I pulled the manager trick. Willie Randolph is about to kill me. I mean, he's on the top step. I mean, there is darts being shot. What are you doing? I'm like, I got this. And so I end up striking out no more than that guy. But I'm going to tell you, walking back in that dugout was a sigh of relief. I was like, I got this, man. He wasn't beating me. You put the winning run on base. I'm like, yeah, he ain't beating me. So, I mean, so sometimes dumb luck. You know, that's another thing you young guys need to think about. When you're looking at numbers and spin rate and exit velos and all this, there's something called feel. If you don't have feel, you'll never win. I don't care how hard you throw, you'll still be backing up third base because you don't know how to create a distance. So just remember that. I know you're not paying any attention, but someday you will. Anybody else? I'm going to ask one more. Quit pulling, he's pulling on me. Yes.
Biggest accomplishment of your entire career?
Being a dad. Thank you for having me. It's a great honor, and I appreciate everything you've done for us, and good luck to every one of you guys.